Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Division 2 matchup in Week 1 of the Reddit League. We have Icetharu and L49 today. Calamity, how are you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great, and we're joined by a third guest today, Radox. What's up?
Hello, guys. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah. This is our first and only Division 2 matchup we have for you this week. So definitely enjoy the seed. Calamity, can you tell us about these two before we get into it?
L49 was already in Division 2 last season and he narrowly missed out on promotion. He came fourth and lost his promotion matchup. And Icetharu came up from Division 3 where he finished in first place. I think he only lost one game and won the other 8. So he dominated that one. So it can be a very interesting matchup.
Yeah, Radox, your thoughts about who's going to maybe come out on top on this one?
Yeah, in this matchup, I have to give a slight advantage to L49. He's performed quite solidly in last season. He even got to the promotion game, which he lost against Schmingo, which is extra unfortunate because Schmingo doesn't play this season. So he's still in Division 2, probably at least an average player there. So even though Icetharu's performance in Division 3 was very convincing last season, I have to give a slight edge to L49.
Yeah, and if anybody's been paying attention to the Reddit post, L49 has been talking about how much he's practiced for this one and how he doesn't want to play this map ever again. So we're going to see how that practice paid off. As usual for Week 1, we are in we're in North Macedonia, a map that in average is a very difficult map for players, but has been, with practice, reasonable for most of our upper division players. Has over 1,000 locations in a very interesting country, at least in terms of politics and geography. Let's see what it proves to give our players in terms of seed location. So without further ado, let us jump right in.
The one thing I haven't mentioned before about North Macedonia, the only good thing is that you probably don't need to learn Cyrillic for it, even though it's a country that uses Cyrillic sometimes.
Oop, I hit pause by accident. Sorry about that. Yes, there is plenty of English available, which is nice.
Well, maybe less English, but more Latin letters.
Oh yeah, sorry. It is all probably Macedonian in terms of language, but it is Latin. My mistake.
And they're in Arachinovo. The town that I can by now recognize by the look of it. It's a small town just outside of Skopje, but I don't know why, but you get it a lot in this map.
Yeah, this certainly is a familiar location, and L49 knows exactly where it is. That practice paying off in round 1. He'll zoom in. Icetharu, though, is a little bit south, not quite sure of himself yet. The players, though, Radox, moving in opposite directions.
Yeah, I'm surprised Icetharu is going... Oh, no, wait, that's L49. That's going up the hill. But yeah, he already knows where he is, right?
Yeah, so he's probably just looking for that pinpoint information.
I remember this location was quite a nightmare for me. I thought, it's not going to be so bad this time because it's a town, but I didn't find anything, I think. Or in the end, I found some highway, but wasn't enough.
Not enough practice.
Yeah.
Practice. And Icetharu has put a pin down, but I don't believe it's in the right location.
Yeah,
I missed it when he's...
It
okay,
is.
I missed it when he zoomed in, so...
It's gone this far. I even know the shops that are in that city and can recognize it by that.
So you're like, oh no, I see that shop. He's in the right place.
Mm.
Wow. Okay, it's just L49 a little bit further east on his pin placement right now than Icetharu.
The problem about Arachinovo is as well that it's difficult to see the side rows, and the shops that are on the map actually aren't really in the real world. It's kind of a bit confusing.
Okay, L49 not wasting time. Guessed a little bit early, but well done. An ace. Usually we're worried about players guessing early, but in this case, he knew exactly where we were, so nothing to worry about. Icetharu, though, about 30 seconds left to pinpoint that location. And he's still a little bit too far west, right, Calamity?
I'm not quite sure. I thought when I saw it like a couple of seconds ago, I thought he was slightly too far east, but it's just a matter of like maybe 15, 20 meters. So he might lose a couple of points. Actually, yeah, you're probably right. He's too far west.
Just so you all know, before I finish that, he's run out of time. He got 5,000 points as well. So a double ace to start us off.
Both got
here.
0 meters.
Yeah,
Wow.
and 0 meters. That's amazing. Yeah, but pinpointing in a city maybe a little bit easier to do with all those shops around. Yeah, so yeah, Calamity, any comments?
It's really rare to getting 0 meters in the first place is pretty rare because the location of the marker is oftentimes not exactly placed correctly, and having both competitors get 0 meters is quite special. I don't think we're gonna see that anytime soon again.
No, kind of a white whale for sure. I wasn't even looking at that. I just thought, ace, and that's pretty good. And then Radox pointing out the actual 0 meter distance for most. Radox, the accuracy of the pin placement is what? Within 2-3 meters or something?
I guess it also depends on the country. Some countries are more exact than others. Not sure why, but I think it's easier in some countries to get 0 meters than others. But yeah, it mainly comes down to luck. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's really surprising to see it by both players.
Yeah, very special indeed. Well, let's get into round number 2 and see how they do this. This time, they both have a perfect score, of course. And some good information for Icetharu off the start as well. Both moving south this time.
Icetharu just saw a sign that told him the name of the highway. I don't think that's particularly useful information.
I do remember this road, though. The construction was kind of a unique point, and L49 also seeing that sign. Oh, they look at the sign at the exact same time. How about that? These two are just going to copy each other every round, aren't they? Same pin location, same sign, same direction. Might as well just watch one of them. But, no.
Oh, that's quite a valley here.
Yeah.
That, L49 sees, and there's lake. There's not that many lakes in North Macedonia, right?
Yeah, I don't believe there is. So some good information he can use, but Icetharu also very close to that location.
Yeah, it's back down to pinpointing like a minute in.
Yep, and I'm going to have about 2 minutes. Let's see if L49 is going to use all of it this time or if he's going to guess a little bit early. Yeah, so Radox, you are in Division 2, so when it comes down to pinpointing, how exactly do you go about it?
Well, first of all, I'm not the best pinpointer, so that's usually quite a struggle as well. Yeah, I guess it depends on what kind of location you get. Sometimes there's roads going off the road that you're on that can be helpful. Sometimes houses, sometimes like here. I mean, they're not close enough to that lake, but if they were to start around that lake, it might be helpful to use that. So yeah, you can't say it's always like this. Yeah.
And L49, just like last time, guessing over a minute ahead of schedule. But 4,993, he is currently, at least when he played his game, the closest to the point, as you can see. But yeah, Calamity, normally we don't encourage players to guess with quite a bit of time left on the clock.
Yeah, but I mean, it's at this point, it's not going to get better if you spend another minute trying to look at this road. You're just gonna, maybe you're even gonna burn out, kind of, get a bit mentally fatigued, which could hinder you for the next round. So yeah, if you're, and he had like a minute to pinpoint that. If you're confident you're in the right location, just go for it and don't waste more time than necessary.
Yeah, good point about burning out. That's often why there's certain countries like Brazil next week that I don't enjoy playing, is that it can kind of burn you out in terms of trying to find exactly where you are pinpointing. Oh, but he didn't lose anything on that. Icetharu only getting 4,979. I say only. As if it's a bad thing, but just when his opponent gets such a good score, it does drop him by about, what is that, 17 points?
14
points, other direction. Yeah. So Radox, any comments about that round?
Well, yeah, they were quite quickly in finding the right area once again. And yeah, pinpointing was not that easy on this round. So there's a small gap between them. So yeah, but that, I assume those are not the rounds that gonna be the decider of this game.
Hopefully not. We still have 3 rounds to go. And with that, let's get into those round 3 right now. Again, a slight lead for L49, but nothing much. And again, another long, straight road, Calamity, not the pinpointer's dream at all.
Yeah, I was just laughing a bit to myself about, it looked like at the starting location, the Google car got overtaken by that black car, which is something you don't usually see. Like, usually the Google car is the one doing the overtaking. But yeah.
Yeah, Google drivers can be very aggressive if you ever pay attention to that in Geoguessr. But L49 seeing a nice city moving north. And Icetharu, though, heading south. So they are heading in opposite directions, at least at the start. So they'll see some different signs.
Yeah, L49 again going up the hill. I mean, it doesn't look like much of a hill, so he's going down again now, but...
Icetharu saw a bus with something on it. He quickly browsed the map. Not sure what exactly that was. If he was checking if something is a town name, or he might maybe know where he is already, approximately. He just didn't place the pin down. That could also be it.
I think it's
like they both have dropped a pin.
I think it said Kisevo on that yellow sign that Icetharu just saw. I don't know if he actually noticed that. Because I don't think he's dropped his pin near there.
No, L49 has returned to the start, trying to work south this time. Using every second of his available time now. Try to figure out where he is. Again, it's a very open road. A few signs along them, but not a whole lot so far. Our 2 competitors seem to know in the general area they are in, but not entirely sure.
L49 has just found that same sign that Icetharu found earlier, but he didn't really do anything with that information either. I don't know if he spotted it.
Gas stations can be a good landmark as L49 passes. Icetharu, though, it did find a good sign with the city name on it. Has to go back and look at that. Might be too small to use, but we'll see what he can do with that. L49 moving south toward back where Icetharu was last time.
There was the gas station on the map for a moment for Icetharu.
Oh, and there it was on Icetharu's too, but I don't think he saw that gas station.
Yeah, I mean, it's also not right at the start, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So
I don't think it's gonna be very useful. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, he might have seen it and skipped over it.
Indeed. I think they'll both be looking to try to judge the distance to those curves. Looks like Icetharu is narrowing down. Oh, he's very nice score. 4,995. Him being the first one to finish. But L49 will use every second on his clock as time runs out. Ooh.
Oh, wow.
Harsh. Over about a kilometer away for L49. 4,627. That'll swing to about a 368 point calamity.
Yep.
I should just let you do this. I don't know why I keep trying to do the math in my head. But in the other direction, yeah. So Radox, what was going on with this one?
Yeah, looks like L49 might have gotten the wrong curve, which is very punishing in this country, and especially because they have had almost perfect scores so far. So Icetharu is now in front. So but it's a really interesting and close game. So really excited about this one.
Yeah, starting off with an ace by both players, and then the margin between them has gotten a little bit bigger for each round. Let's see if that follows in round 4 as we get into this one. And again, a very nice sign with the capital, but can often not be too helpful. And L49 seems to know exactly where we are. Icetharu also zooming in, not quite as confident in his movements, but he is zooming into the same intersection. So maybe a bit of practice coming in here, Calamity?
Probably. I can see that there's something written below Skopje there, but I couldn't read it. I mean, the competitors themselves probably have a bit of a bigger view available to them. Maybe they saw another city on there that told them where exactly they are. I know I certainly wasn't this quick when trying to figure out where we are in this round.
Yeah, they seem to both know exactly where to go. But they are at a pretty, looks like, major intersection. So maybe if they have been here before, the layout is a little bit familiar between these two highways.
Possible.
Oh, and L49 will guess really early. But still not going to cost him too much in terms of points, 4,996. So he'll be hoping to pick up a couple of points against Icetharu with that.
But I think they must have seen something there that helped them out. I mean, it's possible that they both recognized the location from practice, but I don't know how likely that would be. Because I remember bringing my own experience from this round into it. I remember I didn't find out where we were there.
It looks like Icetharu was trying to decide which of these intersections he's closest to. Looking for some extra information. He's got about another minute to go. So lots of on and off ramps. So those loops, maybe a little bit of help on the map. If they're in the right place. I think was our last game we saw that the ramps weren't exactly they weren't on the real road. They were on the map. But they were a bit of a ghost. And the gas station for Icetharu. He will go back to the start again. He seems pretty confident in his location, but he's going to use that full time. Do the best he can. He's right on that bridge. See if he moves his post. Looks like he's trying to just judge the meters away from the bridge he is. It's a little bit tricky. Oh, and he will. Don't click play yet. Play net just yet. Hang on. Yeah, 4,979 points for that for Icetharu. Again, about a 19-point swing. No, that's not right. Not at all.
17?
17. I always go the wrong way when I do those numbers for some reason. Swing for L49, which will mean he's still, I think, over 100 points away from Icetharu in terms of the lead. And Icetharu hasn't dropped more than about 20, 30 points in a round. So even with an ace, it'll be quite an uphill battle for him. Yeah. So Radox.
Yeah, it wasn't too hard of a round this time. So yeah, no big difference again. He won 17 points, but yeah, I think it's about 300 of a difference between them. Yeah, there's 340 or something.
37, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna see. It's gonna stay close unless it's an easy round again.
Yeah, let's see. Here we get into round number 5.
You say easy round. That was the only one I didn't get when I was playing the seed.
Really?
Yeah.
That was the only one that I didn't struggle with. I think I struggled with all the other 4.
I found like signs to all of the big cities around, and I just couldn't figure out where between them we were. Like I found a sign to Skopje, I think, one to Kumanovo, one to Sveti Nikole, one to Kriva Palanka, and I was like, those are 4 big cities, all in completely different areas. Yeah.
Yeah, tough part about North Macedonia is that all the big cities are on signs everywhere. So they don't always provide the best information. But looks like we have a very long, slightly bendy road for these two. They're both heading in the same direction, at least. So maybe L49's faster click rate will get him a little bit of advantage. I remember this place.
Yes, same.
Yeah, those bikers. I think I mentioned it in another video we did that they were one of my kind of pseudo landmarks that I had when I was practicing. So.
Yeah, but it looks like you could definitely make up a couple of points here because they've both gone for quite a while and neither of them have found any particularly useful signs.
Indeed.
Yeah, looks like that's his chance, L49's chance to win.
Definitely his dream seed for this.
Looks like he knows where we are again.
But there wasn't really a sign, right?
I didn't see any sign. But he might have. I think he stopped at one point and looked at the scenery.
But
and I think
Icetharu has now
recognized it
seen
there.
Stoby Winery, though, so that does give him a pretty good clue. He's going to get an exit number in a city. So I think he will be able to do something with that. Unfortunate for L49. He might come up just short. I don't think Icetharu will be far enough away, given that he knows that city now. But again, you lose points fast in this map. So
just knowing the city isn't going to be enough because they're not close enough to the city so that it doesn't matter anymore.
Indeed, they're both pinpointing, but both looking through long stretches of road to find it exactly. 49 moving his pin. He's pretty confident. This is everything. This is literally coming down to the last 30 seconds of round 5. because they are that close.
What L49 is doing here, which is the same I did in that round, if I remember correctly, is using the, I don't know if they're called overpasses, but the things that go over the road. They're marked on the map as well. You can see them, and they're not too far away from each other here on that road, so you can kind of count them and see how far away you are.
Oh, Icetharu with the guess a few seconds early, but pretty much because of time. But 4,109, that's a big drop. And sure enough, L49 will complete the comeback. 4,961 points. That practice really paying off, and he turns it around in the final round by a huge, huge margin. Yeah, Calamity.
Yeah, it was a seed that was very focused on pinpointing, I feel like. A lot of difficult, long roads. And in the end, L49 just found out the rough area of where we are a bit quicker than Icetharu in that last round. And maybe had a bit more time trying to pinpoint. And that was what got him the win in the end.
Indeed. Yeah, that see if we can get a final score screen for both of these players here. There we go. L49 finishing with 24,577, while Icetharu fourth, 24,060 points. Just over 517 point victory for L49 of just by a cat's whisker at the end there. But that just shows you have to be consistent through all 5 rounds. Isn't that right, Radox?
Yeah, that was a great game. It was, they were quite consistent. One mistake on both sides, but the one mistake was a little bit bigger, and that already made the difference.
Yeah, the harsh realities of a small map in competitive Geoguessr. Well, that'll do it for us this episode. But before we leave, Calamity sat down with L49 after the match to hear his thoughts. Let's take a listen.
All right, I'm now here with Tall Impala, whose leg you've just seen, for a quick interview. So,
Hi.
What did you think of your match? What went well? What went badly?
Yeah, so first of all, thanks for inviting me. It's
No
a
problem.
bit of an unusual exercise for me. So concerning my match, I'm obviously satisfied to have beaten my direct opponent, who was Icetharu.
Mm-hmm.
I was quite worried about this duel because I knew he's a very strong player, and he proved it during the last season, dominating the 3rd division. So yeah, I can only be very happy.
Okay.
But I'm still a little disappointed with my final score because I really think I was sabotaged by stupid mistakes once again.
Sabotaging yourself. Classic.
Yes. So overall, my match went well. I found the run quite affordable, and I already knew some of them in advance.
Okay.
So I'm also very satisfied with my pinpointing because we know that this could make the difference.
Mm-hmm.
But my major fail was for the 3rd run, where I panicked stupidly and made some bad decisions. So yeah, I could do better, but I found myself in an emergency situation and I had to make a risky positioning. I think I lost the 1st place of the leg here. Yeah,
Okay.
so I would like to improve my control over this kind of run in the future.
Mm-hmm. You told me that you practiced quite a lot for the game. Were you looking for anything specific in your practice, or did you just want to play the map as often as possible?
Well, generally, I try to remember details that help me to focus on specific areas. For example, for Northern Macedonia, the weather was worse on the western part of the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I also look things like, direction of the Google car, density of vegetations, and landscapes, obviously. And my strong point is probably the geology. So, the outcrops on soil types can also help me. I mean, I took the risk of training a lot on this map all the last week because I really wanted to win it and feel more comfortable. So Northern Macedonia was not a very difficult map to learn. So I did almost I don't know, maybe 100 rounds to memorize as much location as I could. So excepting with the third round where I had a doubt, I think I knew approximately where I was in the first few seconds of each round. So the idea was to gain as much time as possible to do efficient pinpoints.
Makes sense, yeah. So
Yeah.
do you think all that practice helped you feel confident and helped you feel calm?
Absolutely not. It mostly creates the opposite, I think. But I would have very disappointing to lose this leg considering all the hours of training I did last week. So yeah, I'd say it made me more nervous than usual. I think you can see it in my record.
So, knowing all the maps that are still to come this season, is there one in particular that you're looking forward to?
Not really. I'm mostly focused on my opponents. So,
Okay.
because the map pool is really special this season. There are a lot of countries with, rather small coverages. A lot of confrontations will be played out in details. So, luckily for me, I'm meeting the favorites of the divisions over these countries, which will give me, I think, a chance to win it. But I'm especially afraid of Pennsylvania because I'm really bad for North America. I think it's the same thing for you, right?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe a little bit for Lesotho too.
So you said you're not looking. You're more looking at the opponents than the maps. Is there any specific opponent that you're looking forward to playing then?
I don't know, maybe Radusi, Mr. Blue.
All right.
But I think I should not underestimate any players because I think the level of Division 2 is quite homogeneous. So you can't really say that one player is worse than the others.
Yeah, good mindset.
Yeah.
So what are your goals for the whole of the season?
Well, my goals are a little bit lower than last season since the level of the division has increased a lot with the incoming of new challengers. So I don't think I will be able to reach the promotion places. But I think if I finished in the first half of the leaderboard, I would consider my performance in this tournament as a good one.
Okay.
So everything will depend, I think, on the points I will be able to take against the favorites.
So looking forward to the next week, then you're going to be playing against Slovak goalie in Brazil. What do you think of your chances?
It's very hard to say because Slovak goalie is probably one of the players that I know the least. We must have met once during the World Cup tournament, I think. A tournament he organized. Thanks to him. So I think Brazil is the map that advantages the best players because some rounds can really be tricky. Most of all, in direct confrontation, you can quickly lose out on stupid mistakes, and yeah, I think this is probably my specialty. So I don't know. I don't really know.
Well then, thanks for doing the interview with me, and good luck for next week.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks too.